Newsfirst, NEWSLINE with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And a very good evening to you and welcome to NEWSLINE Live. And we are broadcasting, as we almost always do, from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. This evening, our title, our focus this evening, Sri Lanka's crisis deepens. And today, we're doing a discussion with Mr. Chandima Virakuri, who's on his way to our studios. He's held up in a slight bit of traffic, but we are going to be talking about Sri Lanka in crisis and how parents are being forced to pick which child can go to school. That's how serious the problem is. To go back, Sri Lanka's crisis is essentially a dollar crisis. Sri Lanka has no dollars, not enough dollars, and certainly not enough dollars to maintain, to service its loans or even to repay them. We've declared bankruptcy in effect in terms of our international commitments, financial commitments. 5 months ago, or a little bit more even, the president, the current president, Ranil Wickremesinghe, was elected by a majority of members of the SLPP, the Port Tour, and he got 134 votes in amongst the MPs. Now, Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, His Eminence, says that whilst this is constitutionally and legally correct, the president lacks the moral authority to continue other than in a temporary fashion. And some people say that things have got better. But as we shall be posing this question to our guest as soon as he arrives, is that a factor? We have a situation where Sri Lanka is not servicing its debts, it's not repaying capital payments, and therefore there is a certain amount of money left over to pay for essential items like fuel. But fuel is being rationed, and so therefore there are no queues. The economy has contracted from approximately 83 billion to about 73 or so on. And we can see that there is a problem, but there appears to be no plan to get to the bottom of that. On that note, let me go for a quick break, and we will welcome on our program Mr. Chandima Virakuri, the Member of Parliament, who is my guest this evening. We go for a short break, and we will we'll have him in his seat, and he will get straight into answering these questions. And we'll see you on the other side of the break, along with Mr. Chandima Virakuri.
Newsfirst, NEWSLINE with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
මිනිසුන්ට කන්න නැහැ. උද්දමනය 100%කින් වැඩි වෙලා.
විදුලි කප්පාදුවක් ජනවාරි මාසෙ තුල යන්න කිසිසේත්ම අපි කටයුතු කරන්නෙත් නැහැ.
දත්තු නැහැ කියවන්න නැත්නම් කවුද ණය දෙන්නේ කවුද?
නමට වාමාංශික සල්ලි එන්න දකුන්නේ.
කාරුණ්‍ය මර්ධනය කිරීම වහා නතර කරන්න.
ෆයිනල් කාල් සතියේ දිනවල සවස 6ට.
වැදගත්ම දෙයක් තමයි ඒ ලැබෙන ආදරය සෙනෙහස.
වංචාකරුවා පිට රටක ඉන්නේ. නමුත් වංචාවට හසු වෙන්නේ මේ දේශීය ඉන්න පුද්ගලයා.
ඔන්ගෝයින් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් වලට දෙකමාරක සමාජ ආරක්ෂණ බද්දක් ගැහුවා. ඒකෝට දැන් අපි මේක මිල කරලා නැහැ.
විදලිත තොල සහ තල්ල සහිත දරුවෝ.
මේ ප්‍රතිකාර නිසියාකාරව සිද්ධ වුණොත් 100%ක්ම මේක හරියනවා.
අර නෝමල් මට්ටමට ගේන්න පුළුවන් ලෙවල් එකක් තියෙනවා.
Newsfirst, NEWSLINE with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And welcome back to NEWSLINE Live. I'm in conversation with Mr. Chandima Virakuri. Good evening to you, Mr. Virakuri. Sri Lanka is in crisis. we really haven't made any progress towards bettering that crisis. Now they said that they'll have the local elections, that there will be an announcement made, but it appears that they are procrastinating. How fair is that, and why are they procrastinating?
Well, one must understand the fact that this is a country that is suffering an economic crisis. People don't have access to food.
Yeah.
Children don't have access to education. Youth can't find employment.
Yeah.
Who has brought this country to this level? Who is responsible?
Yeah.
It is the present lot who is presently chaired by or led by Ranil Wickremesinghe. President Ranil Wickremesinghe does not belong to that lot, but he's
their proxy, though.
He's their proxy, or he's there to protect them, safeguard them, and take their policies forward, as a lot of people see. So what we must understand is, as the people of the country, this country belongs to the people. We have been elected by the people, not for us to sit in these positions forever, not for us to say that there is no money, and as a result of that allow us to continue in power limitlessly. But I mean, it is very unfair.
But the government has money to send its president to some environmental summit. The president travels around, as do all the other ministers and the state ministers. But they, at the same time, tongue-in-cheek, they say we need to raise your taxes. But I can't see anywhere that they are making any cuts. The president has just been on holiday.
Now, we have to certainly resolve these economic issues. We have to, as a country, get together and work towards that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to conduct local elections, cost is only 8 billion.
Right.
And that is not a cost that has not been seen. This election was scheduled to be held last year.
Yeah.
But the government used its little authority that the minister is vested with under the Act,
yeah,
and extended the term by 1 year.
Right.
So as a result of that, the election got postponed.
Yeah.
And though the money was allocated for the last year also, it was not utilized. This year's budget once again allocated 8 billion or 10 billion for the purpose of conducting elections. Now the money is there, the allocation is there. At this moment, every member representing government, especially the ones who have not been elected by the people, they have now come to the forefront to say we should not be having elections. We can utilize that money to buy paddy. We can utilize that money for some other purpose. Certainly, paddy purchases is a must.
Yeah.
Other whatever benefit that should be given to the people is a must.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does not justify government's decision to take people's right to franchise. And like if now the government is planning to celebrate Independence Day.
Yes.
When Gotabaya Rajapaksa was there, how many millions did he waste on independence? You can remember the amount of vehicles, the way that was brought in. You can remember the amount of aircrafts that were parading,
yes,
and the number of troops who were brought into Colombo and rehearsed for weeks. This year, again, the government is getting ready for something like that. Which is more important? I mean, we must certainly we must be able to celebrate our independence, but not so exorbitant.
No, I have seen images. I'm not sure if these are confirmed images, but I'll mention it because it's doing its rounds on social media. And we had high tea at Her Worship the Mayor's residence. I mean, I think that the optics are completely and utterly wrong. there are people in our country who can just about have one meal a day, if that. And 62% of our working population are daily waged. When the economy is contracted from 83 billion to around 77 or 70, below 77, around 9% contraction, they can't earn that kind of money that they were used to, and the prices have gone up, so they actually have to earn more money. And on top of that, then you see these obscene, I have to describe them as obscene images of people living it up, but they are state-funded events.
And the policies are also contradictory. Now we understand the school books, prices of school books have skyrocketed. As a result of that, a parent has to spend close to 15,000 rupees on books, then close to 5,000 rupees on the shoes, and then about 3,500 on the bag. So the total cost per child will come to about over 20 to 25,000. So at a time like that, of course, whatever benefit should be given to the children.
Yeah.
Most of the local authorities are now, out of the funds through taxes, they are now distributing exercise books to the students as a part of their campaign. Students should be given certainly books.
Yes.
But for what purpose are those money allocated to the Pradeshi Sabhas? I mean, this is, if this country can continue without an aim, without a policy, with a policy that can be manipulated by individuals. Now, as an individual, you chair a Pradesh Sabha, you decide, okay, this money should be spent over this. I mean, this is the main reason for the downfall.
Yes, because somebody sat there and decided about the fertilizer issue.
Yeah, so if that trend still continues, do you think that these people who are still sitting there can bring about development and a country that is beneficial to the public? They will, for their own benefit, when they know that elections are close upon, they will deliver something, distribute something, not out of their pocket, out of state funds. So likewise, they will, when they want to enjoy life, they will use state funds and do the same. We need a country where policies are supreme, where policies are acceptable and adopted by political parties across the country.
What chances of getting that achieved with President Wickremesinghe in place, backed by the port tour?
Well, President Wickremesinghe, I must say, is an intelligent, experienced person.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's being controlled by the same gang.
Intelligent, experienced, but where on earth is the resolution about our loans? Why is he not using his international connections to sort out the loans? They came up with this wonderful theme about a most favored lender business, but the Chinese are clearly dragging their feet. And where is his, I mean, he's being backed by the Porto, and the Porto have this almost historical link to the Chinese. So where is the delivery? It actually could be the best solution, because you've got the Porto backing Ranil Wickremesinghe, who's supposed to have all these connections. But what good is it?
No, I mean, individual, just because you can speak, just because you're a friend, just because you have individually brains, is not in a position to deliver when the country doesn't have proper policy. Now recently I saw the Prime Minister directing all the newly appointed ambassadors to promote Sri Lanka's image. Okay, when they go to the international community or to their respective countries that they represent Sri Lanka, when they question as to why Prevention of Terrorism Act is being used to handle students who have protested against the government. When they question as to why democratically provincial council elections have not been held, when they know that the openly law is tampered with or various standards are applicable to various people. Now, you saw governments like openly police is harassing sometimes school children checking drugs.
Yeah.
There are like some children are being harassed. Of course, you must take whatever steps to prevent drugs going into schools.
Yeah.
But at the same time, kingpins go missing, and our so-called intelligence, this former president and this present Secretary Defense, every morning, noon and night, they were talking about Buddhi Ansha, intelligence. But with all that, kingpins escape. And when such
let's escape for a moment ourselves, go for a quick break, and then we'll be back. We'll see you on the other side of the break. I'm with Chandima Virakodi.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali. TV1, TV for life.
Wasantha Mudalige behind bars for 139 days and back in remand custody for a separate charge. Police say no to Wasantha's supporters due to Easter attacks case. Court rejects request for bail by Easter attack suspects. Former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa returns from Dubai holiday. Aragale activist arrested at the airport following return from Dubai.
Andaman India.
BOCSL maintains strong position against the electricity tariff hike. Opposition raises concerns over attempts to delay local government election.
You are totally misleading the house. You are unaware of what is happening.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna launches election campaign.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Welcome back to Newsline Live. I'm in conversation with Mr. Chandima Virakodi, Member of Parliament.
Let me conclude. Now, when such things are happening in this country,
yes,
when that is what's really happening in the country,
yeah,
how can an individual who is appointed by the government protect the image of this country? You likewise, if the government is ready to conduct in a transparent manner, if the government is ready to adopt policies that are internationally acceptable, if the government is ready to be non-corrupt, if the government is ready to be democratic and listen to the people and do the right thing, then obviously you don't have to have an expert to defend Sri Lanka's image. Anyone can.
So what you're saying is the Prime Minister urges people to defend the Republic and our image. Because
and promote Sri Lanka's image. How can you promote Sri Lanka's image when such things are happening? So what the government first do is to be able to do things that are acceptable to the people and to the international community. Now obviously when there is an election to be held, when the government when you hear from the president and his people around him and the cabinet members and the members of parliament representing the government that we don't have to have elections.
But this must sound terrible news to the international community who are present in Sri Lanka and who are listening in on what everything on what's happening in the country.
Now the election commission, they declared election. They announced the election.
Yeah.
But now immediately they have to announce the number of seats, wards, and they have to announce the breakdown of the male and female members to be elected and the candidates to be nominated. That part has not been done to date. On the other hand, the SLPP goes and deposits money to say, okay, look here, I mean, anyone can go and deposit money. I don't know whether I am not sure whether they have found even candidates. The candidates are now hiding.
So they've deposited the money.
This is another drama.
Yeah.
The commission, I mean, these are, I mean, I understand.
So whose drama is this? Is this the drama in the making by Mr. Basil Rajapaksa and therefore the SLPP? Or is it a drama in which the president is also complicit, even though he says he has no mandate to look at elections, but it's only to look at the crisis? But yesterday's guest says to me, who gave him the mandate?
No, that's, I mean, you have to understand, whoever who does is known by a majority. But that conduct itself is detrimental to the entire country, not only for them. I mean, people in the past, if you go back our history, every government that has postponed elections has got wiped out. And during last government, Yahapalana government, the provincial elections are postponed, and to date we have not been able to hold provincial council elections. So I don't say there are like certain things have to be amended, the number of candidates, number of representatives, now 8,700 local government members is not required. Now, to tell you frankly, now my area, now Habaraduwa Pradeshya Sabha, has 15 members, and Imaduwa Pradeshya Sabha 15 wards, and Imaduwa Pradeshya Sabha has 10 wards, and with other members who get elected on the PR system, it gets doubled. But frankly, to tell you, these 15 wards can be brought down to 5 wards for the purposes of communication. Like members are elected to communicate people's requirements, desires, the way people think with the administration. You don't need like hundreds there.
Indeed.
Such has to be done, but no one has been talking about it during the past 6 years or 7 years since the amendment has been brought in. Now suddenly when you start talking about bringing down the numbers, obviously people will feel, and people are not fools. People know that this is a gimmick tactic that they are going to adopt to move away from elections. I mean, elections may not be the number one priority as of now.
What about you? Will you be going to the Supreme Court?
No, we have already gone to the Supreme Court. And I suppose if they try various other tactics, we will, as representatives of the people, we will have to seek relief from the Supreme Court of the country. And I hope the relief we will get when we go there, because it's to protect people's democratic right, and at a time where the industries suffer, at a time where we have a dollar crisis. Now if you look at our exports, now the garment industry is severely hit. It could be, it is of course due to the recession in the the other countries, like countries to which we export. That also is a reason. But at the same time, the fact that the export income is declining has to be taken into consideration. Then the tea prices are dropping. The cinnamon prices are drastically dropping.
Why are they dropping? Is it because of world economic conditions?
World economy, and of course, now to take rubber, that is, the prices are declining due to the decisions, corrupt decisions that the government has taken.
This government?
This government. Now, rubber industries where rubber is being used, of course, has to get raw material at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
But, I mean, before you allow to import rubber into the country, you have to get the experts to assess as to the amount of liters that, or amount of rubber that should be allowed into the country in order to maintain a price which is reasonable by the industry as well as reasonable by the plantation. But without considering that, without getting the experts to do their numbers, when you open whoever to import, then the industry collapses, the plantation sector collapses. That is what has happened. I mean, it could be some could be getting benefited. I mean, it is not because we don't have people who are qualified as experts who can do a calculation. So, I mean, as a result of such haphazard, fraudulent, corrupt decisions, the industry is suffering.
But what chances are? Will we have these local government elections soon? What's your gut feeling?
Well, I must tell you, the government, if they, as we understand, try to postpone elections, another argalaya or ganging up together of people with different ideas will immediately take place. Because people in this country value their right to franchise. You know, this is a democracy since 1931.
Yeah.
Now, in 2015, when Mahinda Rajapaksa was such a strong, powerful leader,
yeah,
when no one openly admitted that he can be defeated,
yeah,
people who were fed up, they very peacefully defeated him. And in 1994, when Jaya Jayawardena's government, which was very powerful, which like basically like brought the opposition to zero, was defeated when CBK came very peacefully. No, there was no violence. Now, last election also we didn't see violence, but people didn't riot, people didn't got into violence. Very peacefully they voted them out. This time when Gotabaya Rajapaksa, people were fed up with Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and then when
they shouted so loudly that he got the message.
Yeah, he didn't get the message. But when people came out and he had to desert the country, and he has to leave the position to which he was elected. So what I'm warning the government is not to let people to get together.
Can
now,
I ask you this
as
question?
of now, there are people with various political ideology, who belong to various political parties, who belong to various independent groups, who are ready to contest. So if you don't,
I need a quick answer though, because it's about time for the news. Do you think the people changed Gotabaya Rajapaksa and ended up with a better or worse option? Yes or no would do.
Absolutely, people don't seem to be happy with the change. That is why.
So there's no change.
People are expecting elections.
Chani Mavirakori, thank you very much for being on the program. I appreciate that. It's now time for the primetime news from News First, the primetime news team. Great team there is. Take care, have a great evening, and as always, God bless you all.
Thank you very much.